you haven't got your word. People are talking and they're filled with doubt. We're left wondering until the truth comes out. Hearts are broken and friends are lost, and I'm left cold. There goes the spark, a love gone bad that we're forced to watch until the show closes and the stage goes dark. Friends forever, well at least for now. Built for life, but it broke somehow. Words are spoken, standing over a grave. A piece of paper doesn't make you a slave. Hearts are broken and friends are lost, and I'm left cold. There goes the spark, a love gone bad that we're forced to watch until the show closes and the stage goes dark. Stories about a good man. He stood his ground, he never ran. He built a big house, but now it's falling apart. The new beginning ended before it could start. Hearts are broken and friends are lost. I'm left cold. There goes the spark, a love gone bad that we're forced to watch until the show closes and the stage goes dark. Until the show closes and the stage goes dark. Until the show closes and the stage goes dark.
their finest hour.
I need freedom now, and I need to know how to live my life as it's meant to be.
I speak to you in a solemn hour of the cause of freedom. Arm yourselves and be ye men of valor, and be in readiness for the conflict, for it is better for us to perish in battle than to look upon the outrage of our nation.
Good evening, folks, and thank you for listening to Vigilant Liberty Radio. And now, here's your host, Alan Bordius.
Thank you. This is Alan Bordius of theirfinesthour.blogspot.com and Their Finest Hour Radio, and welcome as our producer this evening, Liz Harrison at Goldwater Gal said. Welcome to the brand new Vigilant Liberty Radio, or not quite brand new, as I believe this is the second VLR broadcast. Is that correct, Liz?
That would be it.
All right. Well, I'm very happy to be here. Speaking to you tonight through Spreaker. Hopefully, to anybody who's listened in past days on our previous service, you'll enjoy much better audio and a much better listening experience. Already, I can tell it's better, so that's great. If you'd like to join with the show, if you are in our chat room, you can reach that by going to vigilantlibertyradio.us. Under What's Here on the right-hand side, you can click the chat link. It just put a name in the box at the lower left corner that you'll get there. Does not require any kind of login or authentication. Please join us there. If not, I do try to watch the hashtag TFHR. If you want to tweet the show, we'll try to pay attention there. And we're going to get right to it tonight with two great guests, because both of whom have got some very good perspective on one of the big issues of the day, which of course is Obamacare. The first one is new to a lot of folks who listen to internet radio, but not to anybody who's ever been in the chat room for the Ed Marcy over at Hot Air. This gentleman is a veteran of the United States Air directly and is a flight and aviation expert. But most importantly for today, he also is what I would call an Obamacare sufferer, and I think will be able to tell us a little bit about firsthand navigating those lovely exchanges. Mr. Keith Martin. Keith, how are you this evening?
I'm good, Alan. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for joining. And did I get the bio basically right there?
Yeah, you did. I'm retired. I'm a retired Air Force colonel.
Oh wow! I didn't realize you were so senior. I will never forget that, Colonel.
Well, you know, I've been a civilian now for about 20 years. So
okay, well, I
honestly like being a civilian.
I don't blame you, and belated by a week, but a very happy Veterans Day to you, sir, and thank you. For
thank you.
Also.
Same to you, and thank you for the service you've done for the country over the years.
Well, I appreciate that, although I myself am not a veteran. And then our second guest, she's from Misfit Politics, a teacher, a musician, and really one of the true must-follows on Twitter at GOP Firecracker, Leah Sargent. Good evening, Leah. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yep. Wanted to get right started with Obamacare, and of course everybody is going around and around with Barack Obama's famous repeated over and over again, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan. All of a sudden with this Joe Wilson, who of course famously during the Obamacare joint session of Congress address blurted out, "You lie." He's obviously looking very good now, although his "you lie" statement was really dealing with a promise that illegal immigrants would not be covered by Obamacare. But I think we can apply it to, as the New York Times put it, the president's incorrect promise. Wouldn't it have been great if Representative Wilson had just stood up in the House of Representatives during the joint session and shout, "You incorrectly promise"?
Yeah, that's also known as a lie in some cultures.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, Alan, I think that Joe Wilson really he was eviscerated for doing that during the State of the Union. He probably should have been. That was the incorrect place to be making that sort of thing. If he did it the next day in a news conference or in the well of the House, then that would have been fine. But that was just bad decorum on his part.
Yeah, it probably was. But in hindsight, if only more people had actually stood up and been a little more vocal. Of course, we also now have the lovely cases of Democrats not being able to make up their mind. Just within the last 24 hours, you had Mary Landrieu, senator from Louisiana, basically saying we had absolutely no idea this was going to happen. We have to fix it. I'm on board with any legislation that's going to be able to fix it. And then you have Kirsten Gillibrand from New York saying the exact opposite, saying, oh, yeah, we actually knew that all this was going to happen. And, it was basically everybody knew it was a lie. This particular problem of not being able to keep your plan is actually hitting fairly close to home because it's hitting somebody that's a friend of mine. And I'm associated with another way, but originally I was going to ask him to be on the program tonight, and he decided that he didn't want to, mainly because he was very worried he was not going to be able to control his temper.
Is a wise choice.
And I need to anonymize him a little bit, but if the full story was known as to the position he holds, you'd understand why. Back when he was most recently employed, he had the option of getting some very expensive health insurance through a business association as part of his employment, opted to save both his organization and himself some money by looking at self-insuring and actually found more affordable coverage. He's married. He's a father of 3 wonderful kids, all of whom are between the ages of 7 and 11, if I remember correctly. So family of 5. They found a great plan, reasonable premiums, reasonable deductible, great coverage, didn't have to change doctors, anything like that. And of course, that plan is now not compliant with all of the ACA regulations. So it is
didn't give him maternity care.
He did not get into the specifics of whether he was ever able to get any specifics as to why it wasn't capable or compatible. I remember when he looked at this plan in the first place, he did do a little bit of asking, saying, hey, is this one going to be compliant? And I think got well, we assume it's going to be kind of answer. Now, it's entirely possible with all of the secretary shall determine that was written into the ACA that what was once compliant may now not be. Well, in any case, that plan has been canceled, and the replacement for actually complies with all of the regulations, but has a much higher premium. The deductibles are actually higher. Wasn't one of the big things with what was I saying? Wasn't the thing with Obamacare was that it's supposed to rein in people's deductibles? And they can't really afford the higher premiums. They just bought a new house and everything, and were budgeting based on what they thought they were going to pay for insurance, which I'm sure this is hitting a lot of people in America these days. And he also makes too much to be eligible